Hello and welcome back to another episode of Smart Recovery Series Tips and Tools for Recovery That Works. On today's show, we're going to go through a really great tool called the VACI, or Vital Absorbing Creative Interest Exercise. It's a tool designed to help you think about new, helpful ways to find pleasure, fulfillment, or just simple contentment from activities that don't rely on your substance or addictive behaviors of choice, and ultimately aim to replace them. It's also a practical exercise to help you find ways to spend your time more wisely, as we say. Because as anyone in recovery knows, after you turn your back on your addictive behavior, you have a lot of new time on your hands. The challenge is finding ways to fill that time. Thanks to the VACI though, we can turn this challenge into an opportunity. All the new time you have in your life, free from addiction, can be put to use finding new hobbies or rekindling old passions in your life. Activities that made your life fun and meaningful before you got sidetracked by addiction. Activities from a more innocent, less complicated time. In a way, it's almost like, hey, you get to be a kid again. And how cool is that? So let's start the exercise and brainstorm up several vital absorbing creative interests, not just to fill the time, but to make the time fun and meaningful. And when I say meaningful, I mean meaningful to you. The best way to start is by coming up with VACIs that can replace the real or perceived benefits you derive from your addiction. Which benefits? Well, let's take a look back at the CBA, or cost-benefit analysis, we filled out back in episode 3 of this series. Examples of benefits derived from your addictive behaviors might be less social anxiety, euphoria, feeling funnier, and feeling smarter, just to name some examples. Great, now let's list some healthful activities that might replace the benefits of the substances or behaviors that you were addicted to. Social situations cause you anxiety? Well, then find activities that don't require you to be on the spot socially, like meditation, walks on the beach by yourself, mountain biking, or reading. But let's say you need to go to a social occasion. Well, try looking up some of the guests on LinkedIn or Facebook before the event to get a preview of what they're into. Then introduce yourself and ask questions about their work. People love talking about themselves. Need some euphoria? Try skydiving, ride a roller coaster. If you have the money, take flying lessons, try rock climbing, or just go to the gym and work out. Your brain will release dopamine and serotonin naturally, and you'll feel euphoric naturally. But listen, if you don't have the time or the money for these kinds of adrenaline-based activities, that's not a problem either. Sedentary activities like reading a thriller or murder mystery can also be exhilarating. There's also movies, audiobooks, YouTube videos, and podcasts. Want to feel funnier? Trust me, chances are that when you were wasted, people weren't laughing with you, they were laughing at you. So turn this dynamic around and actually earn it. Try to actually be funnier for real. And you can do that by signing up for a comedy improv class, go to a comedy club, read a book about comedy or comedy theory, or sit down with a pad of paper and just write jokes. Want to feel smarter? Well, the easiest way to do that is to learn. So sign up for an online course, go back to school, join a book club, set up an RSS feed, listen to podcasts, read a few blogs, and then maybe write a few blogs. So now let's boil down these vital absorbing creative interests into a manageable to-do list of potential activities whose effects are more helpful substitutes to what you were used to doing. Add a column to the right of this list and rate how interested you are in these activities on a scale of 1 to 10 before you actually try them. Now, go try them. Then come back to your list, add another column, and rate that activity on a scale of 1 to 10 after you've tried them. You may find that some of the VACIs that sounded awesome in principle and were at the top of your list before you tried them didn't captivate you enough for you to really want to repeat them. And you may also find that the VACIs that were at the bottom of your list end up being your new favorite hobbies. Whatever those are, do them again. They're obviously making you happy. And these new VACIs don't need to be over the top risky, amazing, super trendy, or even particularly fascinating. Remember, nobody's watching you, nobody's judging you. This is about you. Do whatever works for you. Hey, I hope these smart recovery exercises really help. And if you've used them, we'd love to hear from you. And we'd also love your suggestions. Drop us a line at tipsandtools@smartrecovery.org. And as always, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode of Smart Recovery's Tips and Tools for Recovery That Works.